Are you ready for today's story? Today's story is about a creature that likes to slink around in the dark. He likes to creep around when it's nighttime. Animals who are night animals are nocturnal. We talked about bats and owls and raccoons, but there's another animal that some people have as pets that also like to be awake at night. They also sleep during the day too, but sometimes they're up at night. Does anybody know what animal that is? Meow, meow. Cats. Cats like to creep around at night. Today's story is called Charlie Anderson. That is the name of the cat. This book was written by Barbara Abercrombie, illustrated by Mark Graham, and it's Charlie Anderson. Here he is. Meow, meow. He's creeping out the door. And here he is with looks like his bowl of milk, maybe. Charlie Anderson. Oh, look what season it might be. I think it might be fall because I see a pumpkin. Perhaps October or November. One cold night, a cat walked out of the woods, up the steps, and across the deck, and into the house where Elizabeth and Sarah lived. Oh, listen to all those positional words. It says out of the woods, up the steps, across the deck, and into the house. He curled up next to their fireplace to get warm. He watched the 6 o'clock news on TV. He tasted their dinner and tried out their beds. That's not their cat. He just came in from the woods. And he's making himself at home, silly kitty. He decided to stay, and the girls named him Charlie. Every morning, Charlie disappeared into the woods again. So Charlie comes to their house at night, and in the morning he goes outside and goes back into the woods. At night, when he came home, Elizabeth brushed him clean and fed him dinner and made a space for him at the foot of her bed. So this is Elizabeth, and she's taking care of him. She's brushing him clean, feeding him dinner, and making a space for him at the foot of her bed. The foot of her bed means the bottom. He liked Elizabeth's bed the best. Sometimes she would wake up in the middle of the night and hear him purring in the dark. Cats who are happy, they purr. So if he's purring, he's very happy. Sarah called him baby and dressed him up in doll clothes. So she's treating him like he's a little baby and putting him in doll clothes. Do you think cats like to be dressed up in doll clothes? I don't think so. Charlie doesn't look too happy about that. But he loves the girls, so he lets them do it. When it snowed, Elizabeth and Sarah's mother heated Charlie's milk before he left for the woods. Why do you think she would give him warm milk when it snowed? Because snow is cold. And so the mother warms the milk so he can have warm milk in his body to help him be warm. He grew fatter and fatter, and every day he purred louder and louder. He got fatter and fatter from all that yummy food and milk. And he's so happy he's purring so much. On weekends, those are the S days, Saturday and Sunday, the girls stayed with their father and stepmother in the city. So on the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they stayed with their mother. But her father lives in the city with her stepmother. So they go on the weekends to their father's house. They wanted to bring Charlie with them, but their mother said he'd miss the woods. Charlie's a country cat, she told them. Yeah, if they brought Charlie with them to the city, he might not be happy because in the daytime, remember, he goes into the woods. One stormy night, Charlie didn't come home. Elizabeth and Sarah stayed out on the deck and called his name. Charlie! Charlie! Where are you? But no Charlie. Where was he? Why wouldn't he come out of the woods? Was he all right? What feeling are they feeling because Charlie is lost in the storm? What feeling might they be feeling? How about a feeling that starts with W? Right, worried. They're worried about Charlie, that maybe he might be hurt or stuck in the storm and can't come home. All night long, Elizabeth listened to the rain beating on the roof and the wind rattling the windows. Was he cold? Was he hurt? Where was Charlie? Look at her face. She's so worried. In the morning, Elizabeth and Sarah looked for him. They asked the lady down the road if she'd seen their cat. She said no and offered them cookies, but they were too worried to eat anything, even her chocolate chip cookies. They went to the new house on the other side of the woods. Have you seen our cat? They asked. His name is Charlie. He's very fat and has gray striped fur. So when something is lost, you have to look for it. So they're looking for Charlie. We have a cat with gray striped fur, said the man, but his name is not Charlie. It's Anderson. He's upstairs, asleep on our bed. They heard a meow. Meow. And down the stairs came a very fat cat with gray striped fur. Charlie! Sarah and Elizabeth cried. Is that Charlie? It looks like Charlie. No, that's Anderson, said the woman. We've had him for 7 years, right, Anderson? He looked up at her and began to purr. Let's think about this for a minute. This cat is at this house in the daytime. But at nighttime, Charlie goes to the girl's house. Is it possible that this cat stays with these people in the day and the girls at night? That's possible. But it's Charlie, Sarah said. He looked at her and purred louder. Is he ever here at night? Elizabeth asked. Anderson is a hunter, said the man. He prowls the woods at night. Charlie sleeps in my bed at night, Elizabeth said. He leaves for the woods after breakfast. Anderson comes home at breakfast time, said the woman. He leaves right after dinner. They all looked at the cat. He sat at their feet, very happy and very fat. Yup, it's the same cat. Charlie doesn't go into the woods to hunt. He goes from their house into the woods, across to their house, and stays with the girls at night. Silly kitty. They call him Charlie Anderson now because they called him Charlie and they called him Anderson. So since he's both those names, they call him Charlie Anderson. Sometimes in bed at night, Elizabeth asked him, "Who do you love best, Charlie Anderson?" And she can hear him purring in the dark. Just like Elizabeth and Sarah, Charlie has 2 houses, 2 beds, 2 families who love him. He's a lucky cat. See that? Charlie has 2 families. Sometimes people have 2 families too, just like Elizabeth and Sarah. They live with their mom on the weekdays and go to visit their dad and stepmother on the weekends. So they have 2 different houses, 2 different beds, 2 different families. And so does Charlie. Isn't he a cute little kitty? Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Friends, I hope you enjoyed our story today. I'll see you later. Bye now.